What is going on, everyone? I hope you have a blessed and happy new year. I know this time of year, a lot of you are creating New Year's resolutions, and 90% of you feel confident that you'll hit your goals, and only 20% of you do. So, for those of you listening, I want to help you achieve your goals. Now, I can't do it for you, but I can share with you some strategies that I utilize to help propel you forward. So, to start, you want to identify the areas you want to grow in and write them down. I can't tell you how many times writing and rewriting something has solidified it in my mind and made it much easier to find the things I need to know to get closer to my goals. Think of it like the law of attraction. The more that you focus on something, the more likely it is for you to get it. Now, it's not a guarantee, but it does make it a lot easier when you're focused on how do I serve more people? How do I help more people? How do I make more money? How do I have a better relationship with people? How do I have a better relationship with my spouse, my partner, my business people? All of these things. So, for example, if you want to get into shape and be known as a person who works out consistently, you'll want to start with a routine where you can focus on the workouts and you can tweak it as you get better and more comfortable in the gym. Now, because you are starting to take your goals seriously, you might have friends who don't want to see you change, and you might have to cut those people out of your life or spend less time with them because they want to keep doing the same old things that the old version of you was doing because it's too uncomfortable and inconvenient for them to stay your friend because it no longer validates their way of living. And in my opinion, it's not a healthy way to have friends. And I'm here to tell you it's okay to let go of some people. Now, I know that might sound harsh, and the reality is that until you replace a bad habit with a good habit, it'll be very convenient for you to slip into old ways. So you need to have people who will hold you accountable to doing it regardless of how you feel. And if you need someone like that, I'll be that person for you. Just don't expect me to go easy on you. There's been plenty of times in my journey becoming the new person that I want to be, the new man that I am today. There have been many times throughout that journey where I've made mistakes, I've made dumb decisions, times where I felt weak or wondering if it's all worth it. And I can tell you that despite having those experiences, it's made me a much better person that I am today. And I don't have it all figured out. I don't think any of us do. And the goal, the journey is just to be the best version of ourselves and to help as many people as we can along the way. So I'm excited for that. And I can tell you there's a lot of times where I just don't want to go to the gym. And I go anyways because I know it'll serve me in the long run versus giving myself an excuse on why I shouldn't go or couldn't have gone. You know, there's there's even just thinking about that where with some of the dumb decisions that I've made, that if I didn't continue going to the gym and continue with the new habits that I'm creating, that those moments of weakness would have just compounded in the opposite direction, in the negative direction. And that's where you have to look at everything you do as, is this a good habit or is this a bad habit? And the more that you look at it like that, you're able to break it down in a way where it's like, okay, does this add value to my life or does this devalue my life? And then you can even take it a step farther where it's like, if I do this, will it add value to other people's lives? And if I don't do this, will it devalue other people around me and in my life? And so there's so many things that you can do to anchor yourself in order to really just stay strong despite all the challenges that life brings our way. So I understand a lot of you have kids or a family, so you know your situation better than I do. And that's where waking up early for me has helped tremendously to get my workouts in before anything else happens in the day. And as you would expect, in order to wake up early, that means you have to go to bed early as well. I go to bed consistently around 8:45, 9:30, and it's very rare I'm ever up later than that. And at this point, I get plenty of rest from that because my body has been conditioned to sleep on 6 to 7 hours a night. And there's some times where I've slept in as well, body needed it and I just didn't worry about it. And given the train and given the fact that I train so hard at the gym, my body's been well conditioned to be able to manage the 6 to 7 hours a night. I would say, find what works best for you. And don't give up on the gym because you start to feel more tired at first. Your body is adjusting to all the extra strain you were putting on it. And I can remember when I first started going, there were so many times where I just didn't want to get out of bed or it was painful to get out of bed. And now it's a lot easier. And so you just have to stick with it, and guaranteed the future version of yourself is going to be much happier that you decided to stick with it. And just to give you an idea as to what I'm doing while I'm working out, not only am I doing the workouts and the routine that I follow, I'm also listening to motivational podcasts on business, mindset, how to make more money, how to improve people's lives, and then also help more people. And that's what my life is centered around, is being the best version of myself, which is why I'm making this video for you guys. And it's also the reason why I talk about working out so much, is because that's the core of, at least for me, how you achieve more success in life, business, relationships, finances, whatever area that you want to improve on. And it allows me to have more energy than most people, as well as the confidence and the courage that I have to weather any storm that comes my way, and to truly believe that everything happens for us, not to us. And so anytime I make a mistake, I learn from it, figure out what the lessons were for it, and become a better person for it. So, there's also the flip side of it as well, where it's if you're listening to bad music, eating poorly, not taking care of yourself, not cleaning, whatever the case may be, it's going to be much harder for you to stay consistent at the gym. Now, I imagine one of your growth plans for the coming year is better finances. And I wholeheartedly agree. Now, as I was doing some research for this video, I learned only 3% of Americans do financial planning on a daily basis on their own, according to a study done in 2022. And just to give you an idea, 4.5% of people in America did financial planning in 2003. So 20 years later, it's dropped about 1.5%. And yet that's still a significantly small amount of people who do any type of financial planning. And then to even go a level deeper, or to go one step further, only 1.6% of people used a financial planner compared to 4.2% in 2003. So with only 3% of people doing financial planning, and then only 1.6% of people using a financial planner in 2002 or 2022 compared to the numbers in 2003, it starts to make sense why 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So the question now becomes, what are some of the habits and things, the lifestyle that we need to live in order to be financially free? And I would definitely say, whether you're using a financial planner or not, definitely looking at where your money is going and how to be smarter with your money. So I would definitely say, definitely get a financial planner, and you don't have to take their word as gospel. However, finding the right financial planner is just as important as finding the right spouse or business partner. And this is someone you're going to have to be open with, honest with, possibly even vulnerable with, because they're going to be dealing with your money. And, at least for me, because I've got a financial planner, is it feels good knowing you have someone you can trust to take care of your finances. Now, I know there have been horror stories of financial planners and all that stuff. Fortunately, I found a great financial planner. So if you need any recommendations, let me know. I'd be happy to connect you guys. She's a wealth of knowledge, which with any right financial planner, that's exactly what they are. They're a wealth of knowledge, and they allow you to do one thing, amongst other things, but they allow you to do one thing, which is focus less time on your money so you can make more money. Now, you can do it however you want. And something I've learned is you want to be aiming to put $10,000 in this account that you never touch except for emergencies. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would I do this? Consider it like a safety net where you can make smart financial decisions because you know you have money that is keeping you secure mentally in case of any emergencies. In the book, Million Dollar Habits by Brian Tracy, he talks about how he had known about these strategies for 2 years, and it wasn't until he got married to his wife, they had to sell the house, and she said, "Give me $10,000. Like, this is money that we're not going to touch for whatever reasons." And he said once, and he's after fighting her on it for a while, he finally gave in and gave her the $10,000. And after that, he said that they never had money issues ever again. So, I'm not exactly at the 10,000 point in a savings account that I never touch. However, learning some of the strategies that I have from reading this book, Million Dollar Habits, almost 3 times now, I have a pretty good idea of what that looks like. Now, with that being said, also, you could utilize another strategy I took from the book by Darren Hardy called The Compound Effect. That's another phenomenal book that I highly recommend you reading. I plan on reading it again. And in that book, he talks about carrying around a notebook in your back pocket that you bring out anytime you plan on making any purchases. So, guaranteed having to bring out that little notebook every time you want to buy that $5 or $7 Starbucks coffee, that you're going to start to think twice and figure out how to utilize that money elsewhere in more affordable ways. Now, again, some internet gurus will say you won't get rich by saving money, and I would argue that it's one way for you to build financial wealth. And then the other part is you need to learn how to make more money. See, most wealthy people are willing to part with their money if it saves them time or makes them more money. So the question becomes, how do you make more money? Well, it starts by learning how to be responsible with a little bit in order to be responsible with a lot. See, if you poorly manage $10,000 a month or $15,000 a month or $20,000 a month, what makes you think you're going to do any better managing $100 million a month? You have to start small in order to get to the next level. It's the same thing with the gym. You aren't going to start by lifting 100-pound dumbbells unless you're genetically gifted like I am. More than likely, you're going to start at 20-pound dumbbells or 25-pound dumbbells. And you have to think of your finances the same way. Once you do, you slowly start to see better and better things start to show up. And in the book, Million Dollar Habits, Brian Tracy talks about it takes someone 22 years to become a millionaire once they become serious about their finances. So unless you're a rare exception that creates an app or something along those lines that makes you a sensation overnight, you're going to have to wait a while, which is why it becomes increasingly more important to be savvy with your money. Think of the parable from Matthew 25:14 when Jesus is talking about the talents. One of the servants gets 5 talents, 2 talents, and 1 talent. 2 of them gave their master a 2 times return on his investment. And then the other one buried it instead of investing it into the bank because he was afraid. And I would say, don't be afraid to talk to a financial planner or someone who wants to helps to see you succeed. And again, I have a great financial planner who isn't afraid to be honest with you because she also wants to see you succeed. And then last but not least, be a people person and learn when to socialize and when to get back to work. See, it's important for you to build relationships and be friendly with your coworkers and the people you interact with on a daily basis, and I want you to look at it, like we talked a little bit about, or like we talked about before, which I want you to look at all your interactions as you are either adding value to people or devaluing people. If it's a conversation where you're adding value to someone by sharing with them a story or giving them your opinion or whatever the case may be, or turning a negative into a positive, or just being a listening ear, then keeping the conversation going, that's good. And then at a certain point, you have to learn when it's time to focus on work. And I would say it's better to work all the time you're working. And if you neglect your colleagues, coworkers, or employees, it becomes an unhealthy environment, which no one wants. And it also allows you guys to, create a more fun working environment so it doesn't become, just mundane work that you do and not even think about it. Nobody wants to be in that environment. And then a little bonus that I would say too is just remember people's names. I can't tell you how many times it's allowed me to build relationships with people that I wouldn't have otherwise connected with. It might take more time and energy, but I can tell you it'll be well worth it. And as leaders, it's our responsibility to create a positive environment that people want to be in instead of being looked down on or talked down to because you think less of them. Guaranteed if you did that, you wouldn't attract the right people. And in an environment where people want to grow, they don't want that. They want to have people who see the best in them and bring out the best in them as well. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification as well. That way you know when I post new videos. And as always, thank you for watching, and reach out to me if there's anything I can do for you. I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and God bless.